Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness a reenactment. It is not of any one particular battle that took place in the Pacific during World War II, but rather a combination of all of the island hopping campaigns. And as I said earlier, it was a joint effort in order to beat a very formidable foe on these heavily fortified enemy positions or islands. To my left, your right, the Marines will hit the beach off an LVT, landing vehicle track. To my right, your left, the Army will come ashore on an LCVP, landing craft vehicle personnel, more commonly known as the Higgins boat. The Japanese, they are desperately trying to hold the island, willing to die for their emperor. Now, as reenactors today, we're going to do our very best to keep the memory alive of those World War II veterans and to honor them. There's really no way we can accurately portray what they experienced, but we're going to do our very best today. Now, we have a motto here at the Pacific Combat Zone, and that motto is, we do what we do because of men like Mr. Fred T. Harvey, United States Marine Corps, Iwo Jima. Sometimes we have World War II veterans that sneak in on us. Do we have any other World War II veterans in the audience with us today? Once again, we do what we do because they did what they did.
The following is an excerpt found in the Nimitz Education Research Center at the National Museum of the Pacific War from Richard L. Cromartie, 4th Marine Division, written on 11 February 1945, somewhere in the Pacific. Dear Dad, I'm just writing you a note to let you know that I'm thinking of you. Things are about the same around here. As you know, I'm aboard ship and on my way to combat again. As D-Day draws near, there isn't much to do but keep our weapons cleaned and oiled and attend church services. By the time you get this, it will be too late to worry, so I can tell you that once again, our outfit has the toughest job to perform. It is the price we have to pay for being experienced veterans, a title we are not envious of.
Gentlemen, please stand for the playing of our national anthem.
Well, folks, at the beginning of the program, I guaranteed you that it would be great. I hope we didn't disappoint you. The battle may be over, but there's still a war to fight. The assault troops will be sent back to a rear area where they can refit, retrain, and replace their losses. Naval Construction Battalion, Seabees, will then inhabit this island and build living quarters and runways for our aircraft to land and take off again, and again, and again, and again, all the way down the road to Tokyo. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not do this to glorify war. We do this to honor the sacrifice of every war that the American military has been involved in, all those forgotten battlefields all over planet Earth. Every war has two things in common. Those who get to come home, and those who never do. Those who get to come home, I assure you, are never the same. Those who do not get to come home will never, ever be forgotten. So at this time, I want to ask all of the veterans in our audience, all branches, peacetime, wartime, if you could, please stand or raise your hand now to be recognized. I also promised the MacArthur sighting. Please stand by for a message from General Douglas MacArthur.
On this day, October 20th, 1944, to the people of the Philippines, I have returned. By the grace of Almighty God, our forces stand again on Philippine soil consecrated in the blood of our two peoples. We have come, dedicated and committed in destroying every vestige of enemy control over your daily lives and of restoring upon a firm foundation of indestructible strength the liberties of your people. The hour of your redemption is here. Rally to me. Let the indomitable spirit of Bataan and Corregidor lead on. Rise and strike. Strike at every favorable opportunity. For your homes and hearths, strike. For your future generations of sons and daughters, strike. In the name of your sacred dead, strike. Let no heart be faint. Let every arm be steel. The guidance of divine God points the way. Follow in his name to the holy grail of righteous victory.
Now, folks, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Company K. Platoon leaders, take charge of your platoons.
Detachment! Forward! March!
United States Marine Corps. United States Army. Our Japanese platoon. Marine Corps Assault Team. Even I'll admit, none of us could have gotten here without the United States Navy and that World War II LCCP. Now, folks, as I mentioned before, we thrive on our volunteers and the people who are dedicated to our mission here at this museum. That LCVP would not be here without some of the folks we have here today in the audience. If I could bring attention to the Duncans and their friends, if you could, folks, please stand down. If you could. Thank you very much. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you. I've got one more briefing for you folks, and we'll dismiss you. The M3A1 Stuart tank. That tank was built in October of 1942. That tank is celebrating her 77th birthday this month. We want everybody to come see that tank. I cannot allow you folks out here that far onto the battlefield. So, we're going to bring the tank to you. Okay. At the end of the program, that tank is going to back around here. When you guys leave the amphitheater and you go through the gift shop and take all that stuff home, the tank will be there on your left. Please go up to the tank, take pictures with it, talk to the crew. And feel free to come down here and take pictures with your favorite living history actors. Now, folks, like we've mentioned before, there's no way to accurately represent the struggle in the Pacific. The next best thing we can do is to have you hear it from someone who was there. Here in just a minute, let's get the tank out of the way first. And we're going to have Mr. T. Fred Harvey come down here, and he would love to share with you folks a story or two about what his life was like and his sacrifice in the islands of the Pacific during World War II. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody was entertained, but more importantly, I hope everybody was educated. Again, we do what we do because they did what they did. Ladies and gentlemen, you are dismissed.